And after Pimp had came home from jail, he was talking to C. Murder, and he asked C. Murder for my phone number. Now, there was an altercation with Pimp and like Master P and him before.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. So didn't he, from my understanding, like he wanted his masters back, or P owed him some money, or there was some...
You know what? I never knew. This is the honest truth. I never knew what happened between them. I didn't think P ever had any masters of his. You know, I didn't really know what the problem was. What happened? This guy that I was engaged to be married to, people called me and was telling me that he was in Houston and he had some kind of fight with Pimp C. And when I didn't believe it because it was supposedly had happened in Houston and Jimmy was home in New Orleans. So I kept saying, well, that's impossible. But when it all came down to the come down, it had actually happened. Jimmy had caught a flight like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he was back in New Orleans by 11 a.m. And so I never knew that he even left the city. So when Pimp C called me, I was very nervous because I had considered him a friend, and I didn't know, you know, how he felt about that whole situation that had took place with him and Jimmy. Mm-hmm. So when he called my phone,
so would that have been was that the night when I guess they ran up in his hotel room and
it was in a hotel room. Yes, that was that incident.
How did they know how did they know that he was there, or how did they kick the door in?
See, this is the thing. I was in a total blind of the whole thing, so by the time I spoke with Pimp C, that was the first thing I wanted to say because I felt like I didn't want me and him to run into each other in the street and it be some chaos because I heard it was like a big old incident that happened. So when he called me,
this is after he gets out of prison.
This is after he gets out because, you know, during that whole time I hadn't spoke with him and I was like, Chad, I don't even know what to say. I didn't know that happened to you. I said, that guy was home so early, I went to that like it couldn't have never happened. And he told me, he said, Mia, don't worry about that. I already talked to, and I know you had nothing to do with that. I was like, me and this guy, we ended up going out in a blaze of gunfire, and you know he's dead. I was telling, I was like, you know, he died, and he was like, yeah, I know, but don't worry about that because I know that you had absolutely nothing to do with it. Julia, I was so blindsided by that incident, and it hurt me so bad because I had really become friends with Chad and Bun over the years, you know, and but I used to laugh, like I said, when they shot the Players from the South video. We was literally sitting at the card table, Chad and Bun and Bison. We was playing Tonk because we was bored, and the director decided to shoot that in the video. And they were smoking cigars while we were playing. And, girl, I don't smoke, and I'm trying to stop from coughing, and they snapped me because the smoke was so damn. And then I had this curly, wet and wavy weave that started to dry up and look like a Jerry curl. And, you know, they was just making so many jokes on me and bragging on me. And, you know, I was trying to just remember all of that stuff about us. So when that incident happened, everybody started calling me because I was during the time No Limit was still high. Mm-hmm. Guys, different magazines, you know, different.
So there was just rumors about it, and people were calling you?
Yeah, they was like, we heard your husband bust in a hotel and, you know, was fighting Pimp C. And I was like, No, that's not the truth. And it was like, well, I think it is the truth, Mia. You probably need to figure that out, you know. And so I called.
Who was it saying that to you?
That
was magazine that called you?
Just different writers, girls who was doing publicity at the time, you know, just calling me just like the phone, just every time one person hang up, somebody else would call, and they were saying it. So I asked him, well, did that happen? Did you do that? And he was like, no, I was here. What you talking about? And so I was like, that's what I keep telling people. You know, like that really like went under my nose, and it really, really hurt my feelings when I found out that actually did happen, you know.
So how did you ultimately
find out? And I didn't know. Well, one of the guys from No Limit, he said it. And so I said, is that the truth? And he was like, yeah, that's the truth. He was like, Jimmy did that early in the morning. And so I was like, wow, that's really messed up, you know. So when I confronted Jimmy about it, you know, he was like, well, we got into it, and we've been getting into it over different situations. He was like, you know, when C be on the road, he get on the mic and he just always saying, you know, fuck Master P and fuck us. And I was like, but that don't have nothing to do with anything, like with somebody saying on the mic. And, you know, I really didn't know what the situation was that led to that. But at the end of the day, I was happy to talk to him. I was happy that he spoke with P, and whatever that situation was, they fixed that, you know, and he couldn't mend whatever had happened between him and Jimmy, because Jimmy got killed before he got out of jail. But
was Jimmy like a bodyguard, like a No Limit bodyguard, or what was his?
You know what? Girl, he was P's first cousin.
Oh.
He was P's first cousin, and he was in a couple of movies and stuff. But no, not really. I think, you know, I don't think it was anything Percy was aware of. I think Jimmy just reacted on his own because he was a guy that had a street mentality, and he had did like 8 years in jail on a manslaughter, and I just think, you know, he was a pretty loose cannon, and I think he just kind of overreacted.
Well,
I really think he
like
did.
That, it might be exaggerated, but the version I always heard was that it was P with four guys with him, and the 4 guys had held P down, and P put a pistol in his mouth and threatened him, and then they left. But the way you heard it, he wasn't actually there?
I think that was the exaggerated thing, because the way I got it, you know, P wasn't even there. And speaking from, I'm talking about a man who pistol whipped me. Speaking just from experience and knowing Jimmy, he was a character, you know what I'm saying? And he wouldn't have never been with like people. He done done things all through the city, you know, and how you live is how you die. But he did things all through the city. He was very, you know, like everybody know that, and that's how I ended up in Texas, you know. Matter of fact, when C got out of jail, you know, I was in Texas, and about a month after that,
what was Jimmy's actual name?
Jimmy Keller.
How do you spell that?
It's JIMMIEKELLER.
Okay, just so I can get it accurate.
But you know, Ted ended up coming to Club Blue in Dallas, like shortly after he got out, and I went to see him and got a chance to hang out with him, and you know, we just really talked in depth about all that stuff, and you know, he knew. I didn't know anything about it. Whatever the situation had been, he had spoke with P, and he didn't have any ill feelings towards P, and I knew that he was talking to C on a regular basis. Ted and C, they were talking a lot, and that's where he had actually got my number from. From Corey.
Do you know what the conversation between him and P was? I know he was trying to, fix things and they were going to work together. Did he talk about what they spoke about at all?
No, the only thing he told me was, I know you didn't have anything to do with that. I know you didn't know anything about that. I spoke with P, and me and P good, and I told him, Jimmy was the type that just fly off the handle, and sometimes, you really didn't know what he was going to do. And I told him I'm not taking up for P, and I'm not speaking against Jimmy. It's just the truth. It's one of those situations where Jimmy would just do things sometime, and you just be left with that, oh, my goodness. Like we went to the Waffle House one time, and the people took too long to cook our food, so he jumped behind the counter and started cooking the food.
Well, I feel like doing that myself sometimes.
But no, to be that girl, it was just it was the next level. I was like, Lord, I don't even like to eat in Waffle House to this day because it always reminds me of like that night,
Wow.
But
well, somebody else had said he had two bodyguards, Tony and Kirk or Kyle maybe. They were there. Does that ring a bell? Or?
Now you see, this is the thing. The bodyguards that I remember P having was Percy, Pokey, Man, Earl, this guy named Kevin. He was a retired police officer. So, I don't know Tony. Like, I never even heard of a name Tony. And I'm trying to see even a Kirk. Like, the bodyguards that I knew him to have from the time I started working with him, from 94 to like 99, because that's when I got out of the game. It was pretty much the same people. And any new people that came around, I really didn't know them that well because I stayed my distance. I kind of did my work.
I think when the incident happened, it was probably in 2000, like mid-2000. Does that sound about right?
Right. So you see, by this time, I really wasn't doing a lot of rapping. Jimmy and I
were taking care of your kids and whatnot.
Together, yeah, because at that time they were entering junior high school, and so I was home for the most part. But so I wouldn't know who had came along, but I remember the ones that was there then, and I never got all of that story because one thing about it. Jimmy tried to deny it to the end, and then when he did, he tried to make it seem like it was based previous altercations. I didn't even really know that to be true because I didn't know where they would be running into each other at. But I do know this. When Chad was passionate about something, spoke on it. And however it went after that, that's the way it had to go. That's the type of person. So if he felt any kind of way, and if he was saying anything, it was based on, his passions and his beliefs about whatever the situation could have been. He didn't want to, harp on it when he came home and I reconnected with him. He just wanted me to know that we was good, we had been good since 92, and that he spoke with Percy and that they were, and that was pretty much it. From there,
so you
we went on to discuss.
Go ahead.
No, I was like, from there, we just went on to discuss so many things because one thing he told me he didn't like about the way business was going, he said he got my phone number. He called me, and I answered the phone. He said when there were so many people screaming, free Pimp C, and so many people, so many rappers that was a part of that Pimp C movement, he was like, when he came home and he wanted to reach out to a lot of people just to thank them, you know, and he was like, you know, people would give you like their assistant number, the manager number. It wasn't as personal as it was prior to him leaving, you know, and he really wasn't feeling that too much.